Hello, Facebook friends. It's Carla, your online doctor, with today's Live in 5. Today is Monday, March 9th. It is 5:01 p.m. Okay, first I want to apologize. On Friday, I said I would try. So it's not a real apology. It's kind of half apology. Hello, Diana. Friday, I said I would try to show you the muscle testing that we were doing on my daughter. Unfortunately, we went straight to detoxing her. We did not do any muscle testing on her on Friday that I could video to show you. So we're seeing her again this Friday. So if we do muscle testing this Friday, I will record it and I will share it with you. So it's still on my mind. It just didn't happen last Friday as I was thinking it might. Okay, so I'm bringing back a topic that I've talked about before because it's really important. We're going to talk again about vitamins and some minerals and things like that you should have in your diet for all kinds of basic reasons. But today's talk is a little bit apropos, if you will, of what's going on right now in terms of trying to boost your immune system, trying to get your immune system to be working at its best naturally, okay? So we're talking today about a vitamin that is critical for this, and the vitamin is vitamin D. A lot of you probably thought I was going to say vitamin C. That one is coming, but today I want to talk about vitamin D. Now, I've said this before, the majority of the population, up to 90% of United States adults, are believed to be vitamin D deficient. Hello, Teresa. Okay, 90% of African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians, and even 75% of whites. Not to mention people who are living in northern regions with less light exposure, especially in the winter months, all have vitamin D levels that are probably below par and even, like I said, bordering on or definitely in the deficient range. So this is not good, okay? Vitamin D is a major powerhouse when it comes to your immune system. I recently received an article from one of my scientific experts, and they're saying that research indicates that vitamin D may be more effective, just vitamin D, than getting a flu vaccine to prevent the flu. Now, you know how I feel about vaccines to begin with and the efficacy of vaccines. So in and of itself, that doesn't say a ton, but what it does tell you is that something natural is better for you than something synthetic. So this is part of what I preach all the time. Okay, so vitamin D, it is also correlated with the risk of low vitamin D, is also associated with the increased risk of developing cancer, developing autoimmune diseases, and even hypertension. Okay, a 2017 study showed a link to occupation as well. Shift workers, healthcare workers, and indoor workers are at high risk of developing vitamin D deficiency due to reduced exposure to the sun. Okay, now it is still winter for the most part, but we are heading quickly into spring, and summer is they're closely behind. Now is your time to catch up. Okay, if you have not been out in the sun because it's darn cold out, or there is no sun because it's just ick, you need to get yourself some sun. Okay, so let's just back up a little bit. What is vitamin D? Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that is stored in the liver and in your fatty tissues. Vitamin D is made when UVB light hits your skin and converts 7-dehydrocholesterol to vitamin D3, also called pre-vitamin D. Okay, then it travels through the kidneys and the liver and is converted into a biologically active substance called calcitriol. Now, vitamin D, it becomes like a hormone of sorts, or a precursor to a steroid hormone that affects our skeletal structure as well as our blood pressure, our immunity, our mood, our brain function, and protects us from cancer. It has so many beneficial effects. You need your vitamin D. Hi, Simone. Hi, Scott. Okay, so if you sit in the sun for roughly 10 minutes without sunscreen, don't yell, you likely absorb about 10,000 units of natural vitamin D. Melanin, the substance in your skin that determines how light or dark your skin is, will increases with sun exposure. So the amount of melanin affects how much vitamin D you can actually produce. The fairer your skin is, the more easily you make vitamin D. So some experts recommend, if you have darker skin, that you spend 30 to 40 minutes to 1 hour in the sun if possible. Now, if you live further from the equator, the same rule applies because the sun is further away, so you're getting less UVB light. And in the winter months, exactly the same thing. You need to be out longer to get more UVB light. Now, some of you may say, what about the risk of skin cancer? Okay. Experts recommend applying sunscreen to your face and hands and areas that might burn, maybe across your chest, for example, and leaving your limbs free of sunscreen, exposed to the sun to allow you to create the vitamin D you need. Myself, personally, in the winter, I apply sunscreen everywhere but my legs. If I'm playing tennis and I'm wearing a tennis skirt, both of my legs have no sunscreen so that I can absorb vitamin D as much as possible. In the summer, it's a little bit more difficult because the sun is much more potent here in South Florida in the summer. So I tend to wear sunscreen, again, mineral-based sunscreen, not chemical sunscreen, when I play tennis. I'll then take a shower when I come home, and then I'll sit on my porch for about 10 minutes with no sunscreen, letting my body absorb as much vitamin D as it wants. Now, what causes vitamin D deficiency? Since most of our vitamin D comes from casual sunlight exposure, not from food intake, the biggest cause of vitamin D deficiency is a lack of sun. Most children spend unprecedented hours indoors watching television, playing video games, and on the computer. Most adults work indoors, exercise in gyms, and spend their free time indoors as well. No wonder we don't get enough vitamin D. And number 2 main cause for us to be vitamin D deficient is sunscreen. Okay, many people do follow the recommendations to wear sunscreen, especially on our children. Research shows that wearing even a low SPF of 8 reduces your ability to make vitamin D by 90%. An SPF of 30 reduces it by 99%. Okay, again, I'm not telling you to go out and not wear sunscreen for hours on end, but try to squeeze in 10 minutes in the summer, 30 minutes in the winter, or parts of your body that are not getting sun, that are unlikely to burn. Get that sun exposure, get your vitamin D. We are going to continue talking more about vitamin D tomorrow because this is a topic that I could spend a week or 2 weeks talking about alone. Okay, it's a very important topic. Tag a friend, make sure they're on here. Trust me, I have quite a few friends who've developed cancer, and every single one of them are vitamin D deficient. I'm not saying vitamin D prevents cancer, but it is touted as an anti-cancer vitamin. Okay, it is also an immunity boosting vitamin. So this is very important that you get enough of this. And if you have to supplement, we're going to talk about that more. You need to supplement to get those vitamin D levels really, really high, like upper limits of normal. Okay, so let's come back tomorrow. We're going to talk more about this. Anybody who's interested, again, share this on your Facebook page, tag a friend, invite them to come watch because you really need to hear this stuff. All right? So, hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow for another Live in 5.